There he is. What up, bro? What
What's
up,
up,
cuz?
bro?
What up,
Yo,
family?
this haircut is wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You go home to Virginia for 2 seconds and you come back with no hair. Shit, you can't send your ass back there no more.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so a lot of changes. It's been a while since we came on here for Tuesday Tink and Tonic. Um, I've been traveling. Shoot, a lot going on for me as well. I've been traveling, went to the East Coast, see family, friends, mostly family, and came back with no locks. So I guess I should address this right off the bat because it's the most obvious visual change. Um, what caused you to do it, man? I
I mean,
liked
that
your
was
way the
my
way it
question.
was.
My question is what caused you to do it? And also, yeah, I did like the look. Of course, it's your hair. For us bald niggas, I mean, for us bald people, uh, I appreciate dudes that, grow locks and stuff. But yeah, what made you want to
Yeah,
make the change, bro?
I think that's a good question, man. For me, my gut was telling me first and foremost a few things. I miss just like touching and rubbing my scalp. Honestly, that was one of it. I miss just touching and rubbing my scalp. Secondly, going through this last year, I felt like I needed something, not needed something, but I wanted something different. As we declare a new phase, a new season, I felt like things just had to be new. Truthfully, I was gonna go all the way so I can spend a couple weeks really just giving my scalp some love. Um,
I'm with it.
and this is the piece that really hit me. This is the key one right here. I realized that regardless of what I not realized, but I really, really saw and felt that regardless of what I did, everybody gonna have an opinion one way or the other. When I was walking it, what are you doing? Like, give me up. What is that? Oh my god, you're going through ugly phase. Like thoughts. Not not THOTS, but thoughts, which are basically thoughts. Um, was really and then the other thing is when I cut it, it was the same thing, but like opposite. Why'd you cut it? I liked it. I'm like, bruh. So basically, I need to just do what I want to do because people gonna have all types of opinions, whether I'm coming left, whether I'm coming right, whether I'm coming on top, behind, whatever it is. People always gonna have some opinions. So it is what it is. Um,
I
and
like that, bro.
and honestly, like,
It's just hair. You can always
forget
grow
your
back.
opinions. It's just hair. That's what it is. Like it's just forget the people were like hurt. Some people were like hurt when they saw me. They were like like
They
hurt. I'm
invested
like,
in
bro,
your
it's
image,
not. It's
bro. They
not your hair.
invested
You
in your
realize that,
hair.
right?
Yeah. They invested
They
in your
were
image, bro.
so mad. They were like they almost cursed me out, dog.
I'm pretty sure I did. I was just like, in all fairness. But I respect that.
That
I
is,
respect
yeah.
that. Switch it
That
up
was what
on
was
them.
funny, bro. Just everybody's thoughts. This like the fact that everybody had them one way or another.
I mean, regardless, everybody does have thoughts. I've been spending a lot of time on Twitter and in like IG comments and commented and stuff. And it really doesn't matter what you post. There's always going to be somebody that disagrees, and there's going to be people that agrees. It's actually like really interesting to me to like read Twitter comments and feeds now because it's just amazing to me that no matter how sound the argument is, that somebody can make up a argument against it.
Mm,
I've been watching it all the time. Like it really is just a matter of perspective.
I can hear
It's
you.
very curious to observe. That's all I gotta say. It's just good
Yeah,
to observe. But
yeah.
outside of that, for anybody watching, we came in just to like do a quick hey, for consistency's sake. We missed the last couple of weeks because as John said, he's been traveling. I've been pretty busy catching up with a whole bunch of stuff. So, we can leave you very attentive listeners hang in for too long. But so that's really it.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of things, real exercise, man. I think I need to gather my thoughts a little bit more on this, because um, there were also those that were like on the other side of that. Those who were like pretty excited to see me cut it.
Really? You
They
fit an
weren't
image
as
now?
vocal, I'll say that.
You fit a particular image that they enjoy?
Yeah, or for like, I think a lot of like older folks in my life too were like,
Just change is tough. Change is tough. Like, yeah, people like the old. Even reminds me of this whole really reframing. I need some earphones. That's why I keep looking around. Really reframing my name, for example. It's really tough. The people are attached to what they're attached to. That brings
Oh,
me back to
explain
what I
that to
really
people.
wanted to say. Pardon?
Explain the name change to people. Explain the name change to people.
All right, bet. So, as many of you know, I'm from Ghana, and Ghana was colonized by the British. Obviously, there is no man named John walking around Ghana who never encountered British culture, right? So, traditionally stated, in Ghanaian culture, you're named based on a couple of variables, whether you're male or female, what tribe are you from, what day were you born, are you a twin, or are you not a twin, are you from a particular line, like, just like most indigenous cultures, the name is an indication. It really tells a story beyond the meaning, but the actual full name is an indication of your history and where you're headed towards, or where they hope you're headed towards. British post English invasion. Now, for members of society to actually rise up in ranks, started having to use English names, essentially assimilate or die. So that's when you started to see the name change. So there would be a traditional name given, then there'll be an English name given, and a surname given. And so my traditional name is Kwabena Asare, or Kwabena Bedia Konsari. And my English name is John given. So it's John Kwabena Bedia Konsari. I realize now, the more I learn, the more I grow, the more it occurs to me, it's like, I've never really felt that attached or connected to my English name ever. I only really used it because it was a lot easier for Americans to speak and non-Africans, right? They were already struggling with the rest of my name. I didn't want I didn't want to have a straight tic-tac-toe situation going on where it's like every single one. In fifth grade, to tell a side note example, I got a lot of like the little awards they give at award ceremonies. So they would call me up and be like, basically, as soon as it said John and none of the words after that made any sense, I knew it was me. They would, John, I was like, bro, I mean, like, I've said this,
Oh, God.
so I was just, as I was thinking about this year and kind of moving forward, I was like, man, I've always felt more attached to my Ghanaian traditional name, but I just never used it because I took the easy way out. I was being a coward for everything we just spoke about in terms of the name, and not like, people just have opinions and they have very strong opinions, all right? But I like this, like this, like well, it has nothing to do with you except you. That's how you refer to me. So it's whatever. So I started in newer circles. I started just using my short form of my Ghanaian name, Kobi, for Kwabena being the long form. And even along the way, it's been a journey. It's been like, at first, I really didn't correct people, and then they said Kobi. I was like, all right, that works, whatever. Like, it's easy, they can say it,
It's
whatever.
Kobe.
Yeah, it's also, very respectable. I appreciate it. I'll take it all day. But to actually realize then it's actually Kobi being long E, and people just get mind. I watch people's mind melt whenever they they try to either pronounce it or engage with it or do whatever with it. And I was like, man, if we really look at the history of naming in terms of indigenous cultures, even those that are left, like not left or taken out or forcibly, whatever you want to call it, African Americans here, that whole naming of like government name versus actual name, that's not accidental. Like it didn't just come out of nowhere. Right? It's a very clear tie to your indigenous roots. There were no Johns and Timothys and Edwards and whatever. But now, I don't know if there was any Elliots in the village, bro. I don't know.
I mean, bro, we can. You gonna really watch me and say you didn't know if there was any Elliots in the village? Come on.
I didn't know any Elliots in the village.
Because there were none, bro. I don't know what they were called, but
I thought you were saying it. I was like, no, I didn't.
Bro, you gonna watch me and be like, oh, John's English, and then watch me and say, well, I don't know if Elliot's English. Come on, bro. Come on.
Listen, dog, that's your story to tell, not mine. So I was just paying respect, bro. That's your story to tell, not mine. Like, what if I'm wrong? I don't know, But I also realize I ain't about to speak for anybody else's name because I don't really know,
Fair. I mean, I want to say fair enough, but nah. All right.
All right, fair. But I think it's really important, man, for us to like, maybe not for us, but for me, it was important to revisit and to think, wow, how do I pay respect to those that came before me, such as my mom, my dad, and those that were part of the selection process, but also go further back to my roots, and be authentic to myself without. And what does that even mean? Because that's so contextual, right? It's only just recently that like I've really like thought through this. Earlier on, most of my life, it was a lot easier just to go, John. Yeah, that's it. Simple.
You don't want the hassle. I remember reading about, I don't want to say her name because I will clearly butcher it, as I assume most people, but it's one of the actresses from Orange is the New Black, and she has a very, her name is very indigenous, and she said she wanted to change her name when she was older because people couldn't pronounce it. Her mom told her if they could learn to pronounce Dostoevsky, they'll learn to pronounce your name. They're like, you'll be all right. Don't worry.
Shout out to her mom. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's something similar to that, like we learn to pronounce a lot of pretty difficult Western names that have like Russian heritage, etc., etc. Like, why not? Why can't people just learn to pronounce, these other names? It's just a name. Just pronounce it properly. It's just respect. It's literally just respect. Like, like it has nothing to do with, oh, you don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable doing a lot of shit.
I do it. Or things. But I do it. That's an interesting piece, man, because I think I think the Englishfication, right, the colonization of the world is not just where was England, but all things that have been spread. The definition of what it is to be professional, to dress professional, to look professional, to act professional, to be groomed professionally. It's all English, right? Or whatever you want to call it, Western English, whatever you want to call it. It's not mine. That's all I know, right? and then looking at like names, the language we all take part in, the universal language that was chosen. So some would say, well, dude, we all got to speak something that we all understand. Got it. But why did it end up being English? And not to question like the validity of it, but more so to say, we should never do something where nobody ever questions it ever again. I don't think anything in that falls in that category is helpful to us. What do you think?
Sorry, I kind of got distracted. Thinking about names.
I'll say
no.
That anything that we just do, just because that's how it's done, should periodically be updated by some Socratic questions. That's what generations are for.
I agree with you, and I wouldn't say that's just that. I was talking to a friend, my roommates recently, about how much of being an adult or growing up was actually reconditioning and relearning things. I know people normally say unlearning, but I felt that was too negative a connotation. But changing the way we think and my understanding of what I was doing. I do think my parents and a lot of people's parents did a great job with what they had, and it's very easy to start back and say you did this wrong or that was wrong or these things aren't right. But that's not true. It's just that we've identified for ourselves based on the information given to us a better way of doing things or a different way of doing things. So it's as you say about just not doing things for doing them sake. We've obviously pointed out to this in like terms of what you do with your finances or how you approach your health or how you approach the meals that you consider healthy, and it's all a spectrum, but so much of it is really like looking and really challenging that thought and finding a thought that aligns with you. Yes, there's some facts with the situation, but at the end of the day, it really is about like where do you want to align yourself and what activities do you want to align yourself with that get you where you want to go, or at least make you feel like you're being authentic. So I really like that, man. Stopping to question is hard, but stopping to change is even more difficult.
Absolutely. Ain't no question. And I think you hit on something that I want to highlight that's I think is pretty key. And it's alignment, right? Speaking of, I see my chiropractor on here. I see you, doc. I see you, doc. But alignment being so key, because I really see that as being the goal when it comes to life, when it comes to health, when it comes to everything. And to narrow it down to health a little bit, it's health is, and I think health is contextual. Health is, you have to take into consideration who the person is and what the environment is for you to consider health. And there is a homeostasis. There is one that is ideal for that particular person in this particular context. And I think the term that keeps coming to mind as I continue to, practice my craft and get better is alignment. Alignment, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all those things kind of matter, man. And I appreciate you hitting on that. We've been on a lot longer than we thought we'd be.
No, but that's fair, bro. This is what we did it for. What I mean? We let it flow. You let it flow.
Factuals, man. One thing we were talking about off wax, I want to bring on wax, bro, is the idea of like we're at what a lot of people feel is kind of the end to a very traumatic year for a lot of folks. And we don't want to step over that. In that there's a lot going on that has gone on. There's a lot that's still going on. And in fact, we don't even know when it's going to stop going on. We don't even know if we will ever roll back to how things were before this. I think I hear a lot of like, oh, when we go back to normal, when we go back to normal. Well, first and foremost, do we even know what normal is anymore? And will we ever get back to that?
Do we want to get back to that is our next question.
Do we want to get back to that? Another great question. Do we want to get back to that? Or do we want to change this from what it is now and what it used to be to something completely new?
It's a paradigm shifting moment, bro. It's a paradigm shift in approach. You see it all over. So many things happened during quarantine. It was a wild year. Like, I feel like I lived 4 years in like 1 year, real talk. And I want to say I grew. Maybe I grew in some areas, but some areas definitely took a hit. I'm gonna be honest. Some areas took a hit. Like it's been, and we talked about this. We were saying the two types of people, but I was saying before this, I know a lot of people that bury a lot of things. I think it's human nature to avert their eyes and bury their heads in the sand towards certain issues. And I think quarantine made it a lot easier to do that for some people in some instances, especially personally. But also like, it's just, I think that was maximized. Like people like really buried their heads in the sand for some issues. Like they got lost. And now we have to like, now these things are resurfacing and people have to pay attention to like, people are rechanging who they are, what they care about, how they really see the world. And, maybe some people grew up, but maybe some people took some steps back. So as you said, like, what is a new normal? What are we really going to? And what is this truly the end of? And who? I mean, it might be the end in the United States, or, the developed world, but India is still getting hit pretty hard. And the I want to say the developing world, but I know there's another term for it. The
Yeah, yeah.
developing world is still pretty much kind of fucked a little. Excuse my French. But yeah.
I think that's key, man. I think that's key. So let's leave the folks off with this. What's your top tip or thing or coping mechanism or rebuilding mechanism? Like, what have you discovered for yourself that might be helpful to somebody else? You can give one, you can give top three, whatever really speaking to you, bro. Let's each give something that the folks can walk away, hang their hat on, or something that we can continue to build on top of.
Sure. I think we should kick it off so you can help folks. What was the thing that changed for you, bro, during this last year?
Yeah. Great question. I would say a couple of things, top three things, man. First and foremost, stick to the fundamentals, bro. Find out what the fundamentals are and stick to the fundamentals. We talk a lot about health and wellness. I think there are some fundamentals that I've been, and my whole message on this entire channel as it pertains to health is that there are 20% of things we need to do to get 80% of our results when it comes to health, and we're being lied to them. We're being lied about them. We're not being told the truth about them. We're being actively manipulated by marketing, by a lot of different factors to actually behave in the direct opposite. And those things are true when it comes to wealth as well. There's fundamental steps that whether there's a pandemic or not, you can actually take to get healthy and stay healthy. There's fundamental steps that whether there's a pandemic or not, you can take, hopefully before the pandemic, all right, to set you up to make sure your foundation is firm. So I think the fundamentals. Number two, what I'll say is more than ever, it's clear to me that the problems that we're trying to solve externally in the world, the big major problem, world hunger, racism, sexism, war and child trafficking, all this stuff, none of this stuff is changing, right? Based on what we've done in the past. The things that we've tried in the past either haven't had enough time to work, you could make that argument, or quite frankly, we need a totally different paradigm shift for anything to actually work, right? So I'll say that for sure. And then number three, I'll say, man, for me more than ever, it's clear to me that inner engineering over trying to change the world. When it really do start with yourself, really do start with myself, right? And I'll say it's more clear than ever to me that inner engineering at our three levels: inner engineering in the mind, inner engineering in the heart, inner engineering in our gut. I talk about the gut quite a bit. If you have any questions on that. Those three things to me are going to have the greatest impact on us moving forward. Not any medicine that's going to be discovered or created, not any laws that are going to be changed or created, not any nothing like that is going to, no laws, no none of that stuff externally is going to make the difference in those things that we're talking about. That's my
pretty
top.
Good tips. You probably did a lot of thought work during this quarantine.
That's off the top, bro. That's off these things are so obvious. We talk about them so often that, as you know, man, these are so key. But go ahead, brother. What you got for them?
Shit. It's gonna seem real simple, bro, but my biggest mantra during this time was look good, feel good, do good, bro. And I mean, there are multiple levels to that. Whether it is feeling good, or looking good, has to do with your health. It has to do we're dressing comfortably. For me, like working from home, straight up, I started realizing how much like getting dressed or like feeling your best really puts you ahead of the game. And it kind of it feels a little bit weird, but I know people like try to do work from home in their underwear and in their pajamas in their bed and stuff, and it just don't work, bro. And I'm not saying that you have to get full on dressed or like in a shirt and tie or whatever, but yo, feel your best, bro. Whatever it is that takes you to feel your best, whether it be eating properly, working out and stuff like that, that's really what is gonna take you to the next level. Um, and finally, decrease, bro. I've spent so much of my life trying to do more with my day that I think I became just less effective at, at my day, at anything. And that could be applied to anything, we try so hard to count calories and all these different things that, like decrease, bro. Like remove all that shit. Just eat more fruits and veggies and focus on that. And you'll be all right. Like you'll be all right. Like like we try so hard. Like we think we need to learn stocks and start all these businesses to get wealth, bro. Just spend less. Budget. like like so much from the so much satisfaction actually came from cutting out the unnecessary. Like no, I don't need. I don't actually need to go out and do all these different things to be happy or to be good or to have a good time. It was more of the simple stuff. I can safely say I'm happy because it's the little things, bro. I'm eating well. I get to go for a walk or see some sunshine. I get to do. I don't even say that I have to. I get to work out and do yoga and meditate and just simplify my day, like boil it down to like. I guess, as you said, the fundamentals, bro. Like, really, what are your building blocks? And take it from there. Those are my top two. Those are my top quarantine lessons. Real fast.
I love it, bro. That's spot on. Spot on. And if you take any of those, you too can have a wonderful life. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, it's not coming from folks who already made it. It's coming from folks who are right here in the trenches, man. Right here in the trenches on their way up.
Shit, I made it somewhere. I don't know where. I can tell you where this is, bro. I made it exactly where I am.
Right.
That's where it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
But also, biggest message today is that, John and I got some, I won't say what it is, but we got some like really disheartening news today about somebody close to us. And that's kind of why we're on this whole wellness, take care of yourself thing. I don't know what happened, but I just want to like reach out and tell people, take care of yourself, enjoy yourself. Tomorrow is not promised, and that doesn't mean that you don't plan for the extra time, but it also means, make the best of what you have. Try and be happy now, and don't try to be happy in the future. It really is, eat some food, treat yourself. Don't be fiscally irresponsible, but get yourself a massage or a pedicure. Get yourself in a good position mentally. Don't overwork. Shit like that.
Take on some inner engineering, man. A lot of it is free. A lot of it is free. So that's it for this week. This week's Tink and Tonic. Appreciate y'all for joining in. Anybody that did. We try to do this every Tuesday, right around this time, or a little before this time, like 30 minutes before this time, which is 4:30 on the Pacific, and 7:30 on the other side. So on the East Coast, that side. Appreciate y'all, and that's it. We'll be back next week,
bro. Love yourself.
Take care of yourself.
I love you guys.
Give folks their flowers. Let them know they're still alive. Let them know why they're still here. That you appreciate them. And tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and nothing tomorrow is going to make you happier if today don't make you happy. So easier said than done. But
I accept like $500 million. That shit might make me happy. I'm going.
This dude, bro.
All right, listen, guys.
Accept a lot of money. All right, fair enough.
A lot of money might do it.
We'll talk soon, brother. Peace.